YouTube, coming at you with the pickup video. I've got a lot of stuff, so let's just jump right into it. I'm going to start with the flea market find. At this particular flea market, I didn't really find anything the whole time I was there, except there was one booth that sells their games for $2 a piece, and if you buy like you can do like 3 for $5. But I bought Call of Duty Black Ops 2 for the PS3 off of them for $2. I mean, I couldn't pass that up. And the more interesting thing, quick story actually, I went to a thrift store a few days ago and found 2 Laserdisc players, one for $16, one for $25. The one for $16 didn't work at all. I couldn't even get the disc drive to open. But the other one seemed to work, but they didn't have any Laserdiscs to test it, so I decided to pass on it. And I wish I wouldn't, because the same guy where I got that Black Ops 2 had Laserdisc movies. He had Cliffhanger, The Princess Bride, The Lost World Jurassic Park, From Dusk Till Dawn, an unopened copy of Braveheart, and The Fifth Element. And he wanted $2 a piece on those, and I asked him, you know, what if I bought all 6 of them? And he gave them to me for $10 total, so pretty good deal there. Okay, we're going to move on to pawn shops. And these came from a bunch of different pawn shops. I'm just going to tell you the price and kind of move on with them. This one, for a disc-only copy of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, so not disc-only, it's got the case, but the case is really beat up, $8. Actually from a thrift store, Legend of the Dragoon. I only paid $3 for that. They charge $1 for PlayStation games, but if it's got more than one disc, they charge $3. But all the discs are in pretty good shape, so $3 for that was a pretty good deal. And then a pretty scratched up copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee, disc only. $1 for that one. From a different pawn shop, they actually have a bunch of shelves with $2 games, and I was able to find a Wii game on there that I wouldn't mind having. I don't even remember what it was. It wasn't that great, but for $2 I was going to pick it up. And they actually have a case of games, and they want $7 a piece on Wii, PS3, 360. So I took them up there and kind of said, you know, all the games over there are $2, right? And she said, yeah, and I handed them over. And the one game that was actually over on the shelf, she wouldn't even give me the $2 for, even though they are $2. So that kind of ticked me off. But the other game was a disc-only copy of New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii, and she wouldn't give me this for $2 either, but I did pay $7, so that's still not too bad of a deal on that. Okay, at a different pawn shop, they were going to charge $2 for anything that didn't have a price tag. When she originally said it, I think she just meant to say for PS2 and Xbox games, but I was able to find a couple bit else I'll show you. I got a copy of Silent Hill 2 complete, so that was $2. A disc-only, I guess it has the case, just missing the manual, Spyro Year of the Dragon. And then a couple games I don't think she meant for them to be $2 a piece, but since she said, you know, anything without a price tag, I got Dead Rising and Fear 2 for $2 a piece as well. Different pawn shop sells their games. Wii games are, I believe, $8, and the DS games are $7. So I picked up a copy of Pokemon Heart Gold. Complete, and Pokemon Black version 2, and got those for $7 a piece. And I got a copy of Mario Kart Wii and Donkey Kong Country Returns, and those were $8. So pretty good deals on those. Okay, moving on to half-price books, an interesting story there. The particular half-price books that I was going to had PS2s for $25 a piece, which really isn't a bad deal. Came with controller, all the cords, but I'm just going to resell them as the console only. But they were also running a deal for every time you bought a $25 gift card, you got $5 more to spend. So essentially $30 for $25 cash. So I bought 5 gift cards for myself, and I got an extra She actually gave me 6 when I was only supposed to have 5, so an extra $30, but you can't use it until January. But I bought them in gift cards and basically went and bought the 4 PS2s for $25 a piece and used the gift card. And then I also got 3 CDI games because I had recently bought 2 CDIs, as you've seen from my last trade video. So I picked up 2 Bible games. These are both sealed. One being Moses the Exodus, and the other being the Story of Jonah. And this has got to be the funniest sounding game. And I was talking to Goodwill Hunter, and apparently this used to be a Disney cartoon. But it's Brer Rabbit and the Wonderful Tar Baby. So I'm sure those games are pretty awful. And also at that Half Price Books, I was checking their clearance stuff, and they had a strategy guide for Final Fantasy Tactics Advance for $1, so I decided to pick that up while I was there. Okay, moving on to disc replay, I took a box of just junk in, basically, and I took it into this one particular store that was not a disc replay, just to see what they'd give me. They told me they'd give me $30 in store credit. They eventually worked their way up to 50, so they, lowballed me at the beginning. Sorry, I think they actually only got up to 40, but I decided to take it to disc replay, and they ended up giving me $44 in store credit, and they didn't actually take everything, so they left me some stuff to resell as well. But I found some pretty cool stuff. The first being a series I collect for, the Resident Evil series. I found Resident Evil Gaiden, which is a pretty hard game to find from my understanding, so it was really cool to get that one. I haven't tried to play it yet. I tested it to make sure it works, but that's about it. I also got the Lost Vikings, Kabuki Quantum Fighter for the NES, a complete copy of Star Ocean, the second story, and besides the Resident Evil Guide and these 2 games I was really happy to find because I've been wanting to try them out. I got a copy of Catherine and Lollipop Chainsaw. So after all that was said and done, it's buy 5 get 1 free item, so I also got a copy of Super Mario Sunshine that I just got as a free item to resell to make up some of my money back, because I did spend about $30 in cash to get that stuff. So after I sold the Super Mario Sunshine, I only spent like $15-20 of my own money for all those items, which is a really good deal. Okay, and I believe the last thing from stores came from Half Price Books a different day. All their games that particular location were all overpriced, but they had a clearance rack, and I was able to find a game that they definitely had underpriced. I think when I looked it up, it was like about a $15 or $20 game, and that's Klonoa 2 for the PS2, and it is complete. And they only had $3 on that, so I decided to pick that up. And I was also able to find some strategy guides on the clearance rack for $1 a piece. So I got Xenosaga Episode 2, Running Out of Room, probably the coolest one, Yoshi's Story, the official player's guide, and Mario Party 8. So yeah, that was all the stuff that came from stores. And like I said, I had the 4 PS2s over there, and from one of the thrift stores I actually also picked up a PS2. But the last stuff came from a Facebook garage sale site post. I posted an ad saying I was looking for video game stuff. I was contacted by this lady that said she had some old stuff that she'd like to get rid of. She messaged me a picture of a regular Nintendo, a Super Nintendo, and some games. And they also said that they had like PlayStation and some other stuff. But she told me she wanted $60 for the NES and Super Nintendo stuff. I offered $45. They accepted. When I got there, they also had a Wii console only, well, with the cords, 2 regular PlayStations and a PS2 Slim, and some Game Boy Advance games. And I told him that I wasn't super interested in that stuff just because I didn't know if it worked, and it's not real good stuff to buy. But I told him I'd give him $15 for the rest of the stuff just to kind of take a chance on. He agreed, so I paid $60 for everything you're about ready to see. So first we've got an NES. He said that it worked, but I haven't tested it myself. But the cool thing about this is when he sent me pictures, he didn't take a picture of the game that was inside, and it just so happened to be the best game in the bundle, which was Bubble Bobble. So that was really cool. And he put it in this bag and kind of threw everything together, so I'll do my best to pull it out. So there's a copy of Mario Bros. Some football game, I'm not sure which one it is, the label's ripped on it. Deja Vu, and I don't think I had that one, so that one's going into the collection. Super Mario 2. Double Dribble. Scooby-Doo Mystery for the Super Nintendo. Shaq Fu. Super Mario World. I'm going to have to change out the back on that one. WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. Total Recall. Mission Impossible. Batman Forever. Super Nintendo controllers. The Super Nintendo system, which looks to be in pretty good shape. Pretty gray, not really yellowed. That's good to see. And the Game Boy Advance games that he just kind of threw in were Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, and I'm not keeping any of these. Jimmy Neutron. Pirates of the Caribbean. Operation Armored Liberty. That one's kind of interesting sounding. I might actually check that one out. Harry Potter. And another Harry Potter. And I'm not going to show you the Wii, but the Wii ended up not... It turned on, and I got audio from it, but I didn't get any video. So I'll probably just post that online as a broken system. I haven't tested the two PS1s or the PS2, so that was just... you've all seen that. I'm not going to go ahead and show that. So yeah, all that stuff for 60 bucks I thought was a pretty good deal. I mean, I'll probably sell that Super Nintendo and the regular Nintendo for probably 80 or so, you know, for the pair of them. So, yeah, I think that was all of the pickups this week. I've kind of let it build up a little bit, so I definitely had to take care of it. Game room is looking pretty messy. So I wanted to go ahead and film a pickup video. Hope you guys enjoyed everything that I picked up. The next Tuber Trades video that I put out is going to be a pretty crazy one, because I've got an awesome trade coming in. So you guys should really look forward to that one, because it's going to be some really good stuff. So this has been Retro Rewinder. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, all that great stuff that everyone loves on their channels. And I will see you next time. Thanks.